Down the Barrel Podcast with Jimmy, Dino, and Jared. And we're back with Deer Camp Edition number 2. And and today we've got with us for the 4th time, I want to say, Mr. Joe Cannella.
Hey, I'm back.
Yeah, welcome back.
How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing good.
Our most prolific guest.
Yeah.
Tony's got nothing on Joe. Although I will say, this is Joe's 4th time being here, and I think it's the first time I've been here with Joe.
Really?
I think it is too. Or no, I think you were here
for
the Habitat one.
The Habitat one.
Right.
Well, we talked about hides for Habitat.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you definitely were because you were filling us with the data.
I will say, and then Joe comes here often right after work. This is the first time I think he's been here where he didn't bring food.
You know why I didn't? Because today at work we had chili and the soup tasting competition.
Oh.
We had 11.
That sounds like a tough job.
I know. Right? My wife was very jealous when I said, I'm going to work today, and today 11 people are bringing assorted chilies and soups, and we're taste testing them for prizes today.
Was there any venison chili?
Nobody did venison chili. No. But at least to my knowledge, no, they didn't say it was venison chili. But there was it was really good food, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, that explains it. So
I truly was, right before I was coming here, I'm thinking, usually I stop and get a burger.
You do,
And I'm like, but I'm so full. But I was thinking, I know they're going to pour me a glass of whiskey, so I should probably have something in my stomach. Right. I think I'm okay.
Yep. Right, yeah.
You got that chili.
Right. I love chili. I mean, we had some venison chili when we were at Ripley, and I love it.
Yeah. I had chili just about a week ago. We made
Was it venison chili?
It was not venison chili. It's kind of disappointing.
I got some ground venison the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
This is the time of year to make venison chili.
Right.
You take whatever you have left from
the previous
year. And you just, you make your chili, your summer sauce.
Are you saying I can't make it with the fresh stuff that
you can?
Killed?
You can, but I don't know. I like to eat that stuff.
I always have a goal to try to not have any venison in the freezer come deer season.
Right.
Yeah. I don't always accomplish that because I have a handful of jalapeno brats from last year, but always a goal.
Yeah.
Right. Now, that won't be so hard next year since I didn't kill anything this year.
Yet.
It's true. Muzzleloaders still come.
Right. I mean, but we're here to talk about your camp, Joe.
Oh, okay.
So what do you want to tell us about your camp's location?
I'm not afraid to say that it's
lat long.
It's what? Right?
Lat long. Tell me the best stand.
No, you're not getting any of that. But I am in the area that people would go, God, why do you have a camp there?
Yeah.
I am in southeast Cooch County.
Okay.
Where you get a lot more land for your money. Bottom line. And I've bought that camp in 2016 when I turned 50. So I named the camp Camp 5-0. So that's what it's called, Camp 5-0.
Okay.
So I'm approaching next year will be our 10th season there. So
sweet.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool.
So what kind of facilities do we have at Camp 5-0?
Well, we started with, when I first got the property, it was actually really cool because I found it on Craigslist. And the guy it was 160 acres and he divided it in 2 parcels. And what I found out was it was listed with a realtor who was trying to sell it as a 160, but was asking an obnoxious amount of money. And the realtor told me his boss was pushing him to have that amount. And he said, it's not going to sell. It's not going to sell. And sure enough, time went on and the owners pulled it from the realtor and then went by owner selling it. And they put the price down some, but they wanted it an 80 and an 80. And one of the 80s had a cabin on it, and it was a small cabin, like 16 by 16, just no running water. It's just a rustic shack, basically outhouse type of deal. And I had a buddy that I really wanted to. We've been looking, and we've looked at several deer camps several times, and we'd either put a bid in and not get it or whatever. But at this time, I was like, man, I think this is the one. I think we should get this. And he wasn't really sure. And he wasn't sure, but he wasn't at a really good time in his life because he was just getting into a new house. So financially wise, I'm like, dude, I'm just going to do it. You're still part of this camp. This is the way it's going to be, but I'm going to do it. I think I can make this work. And we got a really good deal on the property. But I told the owners, I said, I don't want to split it. I don't want to have a camp of 80 and then a camp next door to me that close. So
Right.
I'm like, I want the 160 total. And I offered them a price and they accepted it. And they were a retired couple that were literally RVing their way around the country.
Nice.
So for them, they sold it to me for contract for deed, which to the listeners out there, that is a way to get hunting property.
Right. And it provides the owners with a monthly
exactly that
expense to live on.
They looked for them. It was their idea, by the way, not my idea. It was their idea. Threw out a good interest rate and et cetera, and we made it happen. And they were really, they've been super. I send them pictures every now and then and stuff like that and keep in touch with them. But since then, I've got a woodland stewardship plan for the property, which everybody should have one. Signed it up for the SFIA, which I'm going to blow that acronym, Forest Initiatives Act or something like that.
But there's a minimum property. You have
20 acres.
20 acres, yeah.
And you get a kickback of so much per acre, depending on how many years you sign up for, 10, 20, or 50 years. And so you get a check every October.
Right.
And plus now you also qualify for cost share projects. So at some point we'll talk about that if we haven't in the past. But every year I try to do some kind of habitat work on the property.
Yeah.
And you pay some money, but it's just like farmers. They get conservation program money.
Right.
Woodland owners can do the same thing. Because wildlife doesn't stay on your land.
No.
So the way, somebody's right away going to say, why should the state be giving you money? Well, guess what? When I'm doing good things on my land, I'm benefiting everybody around me as well.
Right.
As well as I'm also benefiting my local loggers because I do timber sales on my property. But let's get back to hunting though, eh? So 2016, get the camp going. It's basically a camp made up of my family and my friend Trevor's family. So he's got his daughter. And for this first time ever, his grandson came. So,
cool.
So and it's been a while since we had a young kid in camp. So that was really cool having Micah around this year. But my son, he's dang near grown up there. He started hunting there when he was like 12. Yeah, he was 12. And I've got 2 daughters who hunt there. And, we hunt everything at our camp. It's not just about deer. We deer hunt. But we hunt bears. We've taken several bears off the property in the years. We trap. We hunt grouse. We hunt duck. We have beaver ponds. So we hunt ducks.
Wow!
So it's everything.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of the beaver ponds, was there not a picture in our Whitetails magazine of you blowing something up on a beaver pond?
Technically, that was my neighbor's.
That was your neighbor's. Okay. I remember seeing that picture thinking, this is kind of a cool picture.
Yeah. Sometimes beavers can be a problem.
No, they are. They are.
And my neighbors to the south, who actually is kind of unique because it's literally a guy I work with. When I was looking for my hunting property and I was telling him where it was at, he's like, dude, you're like 1.5 miles from me as the crow flies. So we're camp neighbors now. In fact, our little area, I refer to it as Little Italy. Okay. Because we have an Italian camp across the road from me, an Italian camp to the south, and then the 40 that is owned by an Italian family. They let us hunt there.
Oh, wow.
They're not hunters. It's been in their family since 1905.
Really?
Wow. They were original
Italy.
Yeah.
So it smells like garlic around there.
Yeah. It attracts deer. I don't know. Maybe.
So do you have like a cabin there, or what do you have?
Now we have a 16 by 16 cabin, and then this is actually kind of a funny story because one of my friends who's very much associated with MDHA, he's on the Habitat Committee. He's been a regional director over the years, but Chris John Jankowski called me one day and he says his home is not too far from my camp. He said, you want another cabin for your property? I'm like, well, yeah, sure. I want another cabin. What do you got in mind? He's like, well, I've got this cabin on my property. You should come and get it. I'm like, how am I going to get a cabin?
Right.
What do you mean? Right. He's like, well, you're going to get it to your place the same way I got it here. How'd you do that? We jacked it up and we slid a hay wagon underneath it and we drove it. And I'm like, the first thing I had to do was Google what a hay wagon was. And I'm like, wow, is that really possible? But yeah, that's what we did. With some assistance, we jacked up that cabin a 16 by 16 cabin, slid a hay wagon under it and lowered it down, and then proceeded to drive 45 miles, and which took about 5 hours because we couldn't go over 15 miles per hour.
Yep.
Because if you went
Well,
over,
not with the hay wagon.
no, the whole thing would start just wobbling. And this cabin is not really, it was 2x4 construction, the whole thing, including the floor joists.
Oh my gosh. And it made it?
It made it. Oh, I don't think I've ever been so stressed out in my life driving that
For a
thing.
whole 5 hours.
Yeah, I had a buddy with yellow lights in the back and a buddy in the front with yellow lights. So we were flashing all the way there. And I took the wrong turn. And you know there's a little town called Side Lake up there.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
And they have tiny streets.
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty tight.
Yeah, we drove right through there.
You just tell everybody, no, it's a parade. It's a parade.
Yeah.
This is legal. This
Everybody
is legal.
just wait. So
They love parades inside Lake.
we get it there. We jacked the thing back up and we slid it into place and lowered it down on the blocks. And then just last year, after it sat there for a couple of years on its own, we had 2 cabins. Then we treated that one like the bunk cabin, and the other one was be like the kitchen lounging area.
Mm-hmm.
We connected them. So now that we have 16 by, if you had 4 feet in between with it, so it's 36.
Nice.
Wow.
But
Cool.
2 cabins, but connected now.
And we're talking outdoor facilities then?
Yeah, outhouse.
Love it.
I did put something fancy in this year. You could get these little water pumps. It looks like a faucet.
Mm-hmm.
You get them off of Amazon for like $15, and there's a little hose, and it's just rechargeable, and you just put it into a water bucket.
Oh.
So you got like kind of running water?
Yeah, you just you run it right to, like, take off the sink faucet that you
Ooh.
don't need because you
Yep.
don't have real
Right.
water. You put this thing down and run the hose down in the bucket, and everybody that came to camp this year was blown away.
It's like, wow, we're moving up in the world.
They're like, this is almost like a hotel now. Yeah, I'm going to start charging you guys. So yeah, it's been, having a camp was always a dream for
Right.
sure, and having land to play with and stuff like that is huge.
160 acres, you said?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, 160 acres sounds like a lot of land, but in the North Woods, that
It runs out.
yeah,
quick.
you can yeah, but it's surrounded by lots of county public lands and good neighbors, good hunting neighbors around
That's
there.
important.
I'm very fortunate that way that we don't have any bad blood. We've got good neighbors.
Right.
Yeah, Italians are known for that.
Yeah,
Right.
You can,
Right. They get a little cutthroat.
yeah.
Well, at
There's
least
a lot of swamp around.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it sounds like there's a lot of Italians around there too, so they're safe.
yeah, there's like 4.
Yeah. Yep. They like their own kind.
I mean, it's kind of an old Russian area up there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It is. The Orthodox Church is not too far, and that's really neat. That's
Yep.
an old historic site.
Yep. I
Yeah,
love
on
that
my
area.
property, there's the remnants of the original homestead, and there's a spot back there. And I actually did a habitat project there where I reopened that area where the original homestead was, because it had all, I mean, I'm sure they had some pasturing going on at one time,
Right.
but the cabin had, all that was remnant of it was, you could just make out that there was a square foundation.
Mhm.
And then you could see off to one side, we think that maybe that was a well, or it could have been a cistern or something like
Okay.
that. I mean, there's really nothing left.
Yeah.
There was old stove parts and things like that we have found. I'd really like to take a metal detector.
So you'd probably find some pretty neat
Yeah.
stuff. Some old.
But
Buckles
this
and
property sat for a long, long time. The owner I bought it from, he told us that he actually gave me the title already, even though he doesn't have to do that. He gave me a copy of it just because it's historical.
Right.
I'd enjoy it. Because it shows that back in early 1900, 1, 2, something like that, the original homesteaders took a stab at it and then they left. They were only there for like 2 years.
Okay.
Then somebody else came in and started homesteading it. And for people who don't know, that back in the day in Minnesota and in other states too, you used to be able to get 160 acres. And if you improved on the land, you'd get to keep it. And it would be your family's property. So I am told, nobody knows for sure, but it looks like that next homeowner somehow petered out in about the 20s.
Okay.
And the guy that I bought the land from, he'd only been to the property twice, but very like briefly.
Okay.
He said he remembers being a little boy and holding his dad's hand and walking past it.
Mm.
He said the second time was him and the wife took a ride and just drove by it. So I'm like, well, then how did that cabin get there? He said, well, my son, who was not grown up a deer hunter, married a gal who was a deer hunter. And they were having a conversation one day, and she did one of these, wait, what? We own land? Right. And they built the cabin. And then they hunted it for about 6-8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then they moved to California.
Wow.
And when it came time to sell it, they were first choice for the parents, of course.
Right.
And they said, Dad, honestly, we don't see ourselves ever going back there. So you should just sell it and use the money. But so that's how we got it. But he told me that his father got it. He doesn't know for sure how, but his father, I think, was a funeral director. And I think the property might have been like an exchange or something.
Oh.
Because it says that the property was sold for like $1. And I think when I asked somebody else about that, they said that was a real common thing back in the day.
Oh, they still do it up there.
Yeah, they were, because then you avoided taxes and stuff, I suppose.
Right. Yep.
So anyway, that's how the camp came to be. And we've been hunting it down for 9 years. We've had some, I don't know.
Yeah.
What else you want to
Well, hey, if any of our listeners are looking to sell 160 acres for $1,
Right.
I'll buy 2 of them.
my number is 218-244-9020.
I'll do a contract for deed on that.
I can give you 10 cents a month.
Don't put yourself out too hard.
Right. No, and that's a cool area. I mean, I'm very familiar with that area. And
It is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
A
A lot of history up there.
There is. There is a lot of history. And you could find some of that cool history by doing a little bit of research. You could find the old maps to like the road in front of the place. That didn't exist always, of course.
Right.
But in the past, the road went behind the property.
Really?
And yeah. There's really some weird stuff I've got obtained over time.
So are you north of the old bar there?
What old? Oh, yeah, Betty's.
Right.
Old Betty's old bar. Yeah,
I wasn't going to say the name to give the location away, but
that's okay. I don't care. People, but in fact, to tell you the truth, my cabin has a reputation of being it has a little trade, because somehow I acquired a mannequin.
that's kind of a serial killer thing.
Yeah,
to do.
A little bit, right? Pretty sure Dahmer used to nap with the mannequin.
Somehow I got this mannequin. I think one of my kids they got it as a joke, and they put it in my trunk or something in the back of my truck. And I found it. It's like, okay. So I put it in the window of the cabin when I leave. So all the people around there know my cabin is the cabin with the mannequin in the window.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anytime, like one day I was walking down the road with my rifle, and the conservation officer stopped me and, do the regular check, and everything. And he's talking, "Where's your cabin?" I'm like, "Oh, just up that way." The one with the mannequin? I'm like,
oh, you're the weirdo with the mannequin.
Right.
and another time I had, remember Stan Grossman, he's right for the magazine?
Yep.
He was my forester doing my woodland stewardship plan and stuff. And he called me to let me know how the walk went. He went out there to do a timber survey and stuff like that. And he calls to fill me in. And he says, "Before I get into that, do we bleep stuff out in this kind of thing?"
No,
Okay,
not
so
really.
I'll see. He said, these are his words, quote, he says, "That effing mannequin."
Oh, he didn't say effing.
Yeah, but he didn't say effing. And I laughed. He says, "I pulled into your driveway and I wave." And then I get out and I'm like, that's weird. The guy didn't even wave back. He's just staring at me. Then I got the 4-wheeler off the back of the pickup and then I waved again. And I'm like, that guy's a real a-hole. Who's this guy? No, it's not Joe, but who is he? So he said, then I finally realized it was a mannequin. Yeah. So I did that as a joke, and then I just keep it there because people seem to enjoy it.
So obviously it's got clothes on.
Yeah, and I changed his clothes for the season.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah. I have high hopes to really play with that someday, but usually I lose interest before. Like I wanted to decorate them for Halloween or something.
Right.
I haven't done that. Usually I just go with blaze orange, not blaze orange.
Oh gosh, he definitely puts the lotion on.
Definitely.
Does the mannequin have a name, or is it just the mannequin?
It depends on who you are.
Okay. I'm Jared.
My friend at the camp, he thinks he looks like not Justin Bieber, Timberlake.
Okay.
He thinks he looks like Justin Timberlake, and my son calls him Hunter Ken.
So he's a pretty boy.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
So Joe allows pretty boys at his camp.
Only if they're made of
He
plastic.
has a well-manicured beard.
We're taking a drive on Friday. We're going to go see this in Dino.
I got to see this.
You want to talk deer hunting?
Yeah. So
So
success.
we're hunting this right now. It's deer season.
Well, it's got this season was. I had a lot of really good pictures going into deer season with technology today. It's awesome. But at the same time, I tell you what, man, if you didn't have that technology and you're sitting out in your stand on opening day and you hear a grand total of 8 shots all opening day.
That's it, huh?
And you later find out that one of your neighbors shot 4 times at one fork buck. So you realize, okay, that was one deer. So
Yeah, that's the Italians for
it
you.
was, it was pretty quiet, but things picked up. So I know with my neighbors just across the road, they shot 5 bucks and we shot 2 bucks.
Nice.
One of them was our biggest buck. Is really nice.
Because in your area, it's
big
bucks only this year.
No, it's we have lottery, but it's very like, it was like 25 tags available. And to be honest with you, just personally, we kind of until the herd really gets up there, we don't even apply for doe tags.
Right.
Although I did tell Micah, the 15-year-old that hunted this year, that he is more than welcome to shoot a doe if he sees one.
Right.
And I was quite proud of him actually because he got to see. He probably saw more deer than all of us.
That beginner's luck.
Yeah,
Yep.
but
Those young eyes.
it was
Well, that too.
the first weekend he made a pack. He wasn't going to shoot a doe even if he had a chance. So
Right.
he didn't shoot any deer. Second weekend he had some does nearby, and they were too much in the brush. And he said, I just didn't feel comfortable with the shot. And I
Right.
said, dude, that's the right choice.
Yeah, good for him.
You know, yeah, good for him. A lot of other people would have threw some lead and hoped for it.
This guy.
There's a lot of
I grew up.
This is like that.
finger, there's a lot of
And
finger
it's like, if
pointing
you
going
see a
on.
deer, you
Right
take a
now.
deer. I mean, that's where I grew up because we didn't see a lot of deer because back then, there wasn't a lot of deer and there still isn't. People blame it on the wolves, but it's always been that way where I grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'd rather hunt with Micah than you guys.
Micah sounds like but I mean, imagine Micah is at Joe's camp.
Right.
Joe probably gives presentations about habitat and stuff like that at his camp.
That's
You gotta-
true.
He's probably got PowerPoints. I don't know if Joe has power at his camp, but he probably brings a battery to show PowerPoints.
I make everybody read the Sand County Almanac before they can come.
Right.
Honestly, that would not surprise me.
Me either.
You need to read
I've
the
heard him.
Sand County Almanac, and then you need to read our forestry management plan.
And then there's a quiz.
There will be a test.
I really would love to do that stuff, but I don't think it would go over. I think I'd get poo-pooed. They'd all look at me and go, no, we ain't doing
Well,
that.
I'm with you. Everyone should read the Sand County
If
Almanac.
you're a hunter,
You can't do that when you have a mannequin in the window. They're not going to take you seriously.
He reads Sand County Almanac to the mannequin.
Yeah.
Okay. They might just be afraid of him.
That could be. That could be.
I could scare them, but they want to hunt there because it's a decent place to hunt. And I give them a good bed.
Wow. It's got to be a heck of a trip up there, too. I mean, it feels like you're getting way up there.
It's not too far. Should you talk about that? You mean distance-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I mean, anymore.
It's an hour and 15-minute drive from me.
Right.
Yeah,
But
that's
it
not
feels still like you're going to deer camp.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, that is a cool thing about that route. It's
Right.
and in the set, it's weird. I mean, that area up there, you could count on one hand how many permanent residents are
Right.
there.
Mhm.
All of the buildings are deer camps.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Once you get past the junction.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And even probably a little bit before that too.
Well, there's a few for sure.
But definitely once you get past the junction, that is deer camp country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, it's not the kind of place that you're going to go. It's a Northwoods deer camp, you know, and we're like all deer camps where part of going to deer camp besides deer hunting is just simply having the tradition of deer camp.
Right.
You know, we play cards and we eat good food and do all those aspects.
Dress mannequins.
Yeah.
We all do that.
They usually nobody probably does that.
Yeah, nobody does that.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that tradition.
Me either, actually.
I mean, if there was a mannequin at my deer camp, it would be full of bullet holes. Does yours have a single one?
No.
Lame.
I never even thought of that.
It was a gift.
That's why we're driving up on Friday.
Like that would be the tradition. You got to check your zero on the mannequin when you get to deer camp.
You know, have you guys ever thought about sticking like a 3D target out by somebody's stand?
Oh,
like the night before.
This past weekend.
We were just talking about that this past weekend.
I always thought that would be so much fun. And then to be sitting in your stand and hearing.
Yep.
Why won't this deer drop?
Right. Yeah, because we went. Where did we see that deer? Cardboard deer. We saw liquor store.
Yeah, it'd be easy to do.
Yeah, right. We saw a cardboard deer at a liquor store, and we thought
it was like promoting
we should
outlaw.
grab that.
Yeah,
and bring it out. Where
put it in front of Dean's
We were in
stand.
Brainerd. We were in Brainerd now.
No. This was for the vets.
Yeah, we were going to do it for the
We
vets.
wanted to play a prank on the vets.
Right, but I mean, we saw it down there, I think.
No, this was in Rapids.
Just over
gotcha.
at Super One Liquors.
Yeah, they have this giant deer cardboard cutout.
Yeah, selling.
And we're like, we should bring that.
And it looks real.
Oh yeah, it was life size.
Oh yeah,
You know it.
It was a picture.
You know it, the wee hour there when it's coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Someone's going to be like,
you could totally convince somebody to shoot
Right.
it. Like, yeah, take that one.
Yeah.
That's a beauty.
Well, I mean, we all see
this
those
ain't no brush deer. This was a deer.
yeah.
I mean, it was basically a why can't I think of the name of the targets?
Dead nuts.
Dead nuts. It was basically a dead nuts.
That's actually
target.
what we should put out.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been
That's
mean.
what this was.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to get shot.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Just to mess with people.
Right. I love watching those videos of like the sting operations with the animatronic 3D deer that the COs put out.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, those Gayborn shows are the best. I watch them all. I've seen them all.
Yeah, sometimes they're kind of funny, though. I remember one of the guys who was trying to tell the camera, so to speak, about how you had to be at least 20 yards away from a deer in order for the kinetic energy of a compound bow to kick in.
So I had to be on the road.
Right.
No, this was the warden. The warden was explaining this, and I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, he has no idea what he's talking.
Right. I've never heard that mathematics before.
Yeah, I was like, what physics teacher did you have in high school? Anyway,
Uncle Rick.
do you want to know about the people?
Yeah, let's hear about the people. I mean, I want to hear about the people that have been going for a few years.
Yeah. It started, like I said, my friend Trevor and I, we went to college. We've known each other since college. So we're pushing
A few years back.
many decades now,
Right.
And so it's him and his daughter, and then my oldest daughter, she moved to Wisconsin, so she hasn't got to deer hunt there much, but she's come back for bear hunting, and she comes back. She's bird hunted there many times, stuff like that. But my middle daughter, Lily, and my son, Jack, are two of the main hunters.
Okay.
And now my daughter also she has a fiance, and he's now come 2 years. So it's definitely a family-orientated camp for the most part,
Yeah,
as they
between
should
these
be.
two families.
Right.
Right.
And that's where that it is. So it's mixed, guys and gals. We don't do that. In fact, if you turn the clock back a little bit farther with the original deer camp that I was part of, the Zirkle deer camp, my oldest daughter was the very first girl to ever go to that deer camp.
Really?
Yeah, I started hunting there, but as she got older, I was telling the guys, I'm planning on bringing my daughter here when she's ready to deer hunt. And they're like, oh, we're good with that.
Well, yeah.
They weren't opposed. They never showed any opposition. But what they did say to me is the weekend that she came up, all three of the older dudes that are kind of the patriarchs of the camp, one at a time, at some point in that weekend, they came over and they said, "Man, did I mess up?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
He said, "The thought of us, we never even occurred to us to bring our daughters."
Well, back in the day, that was the way it was. Even when I was a kid, my sisters never got to participate.
So they loved having her there, and then my next daughter was the next one to go to camp there. And
that's awesome.
And that camp turned into a really great camp that was very kid orientated camp.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, we started this thing on MEA weekend where we kind of called it Deer Camp College, so to speak. And that was the weekend you brought kids before they were old enough to go to deer camp. And this is where they learn to shoot 22s and ride four-wheelers and help set up deer stands. And they learn to play poker.
Yep.
And they learn to do dishes without running water and all those kind of things. And that's awesome. That's that deer camp connection that, not everybody belongs to a deer camp. And I understand that. But that's what keeps people going to deer camps.
Right.
Is that connection. Tradition.
But I mean,
huge.
It's also, you say deer camp connection. I think it's a deer camp disconnection. Honestly, it's a disconnect from, everyday life and all the technology. That's what more and more adults as well as kids need.
Right.
I mean,
I was watching a show last night on YouTube, and it was the Michigan Outdoors show that, kind of like we have Discovery Wisconsin has their show.
Yeah.
But I forgot the Minnesota one version. But anyway, this one is
Minnesota Bound.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a show on a deer camp that was over. They were celebrating their centennial.
Oh, wow.
100 years.
Wow.
And the oldest guy in the camp still, he's just turned 90. He was a baby when his dad and uncle formed that deer camp back in the day. And here he was. And the original camp, it was no girls allowed, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So they talked about, because there was ladies there, and they were like, this dad, he was the one that said, "Nah, I only have daughters, and I'm planning on bringing my daughter. We're going to have to change the rules."
Yeah, daughters are good, wives not so much.
Okay. I didn't say that.
Right. I'm just
My
guessing.
wife's not a deer hunter.
Mine neither.
Yeah. So, but she's welcome to come to deer camp.
For a minute.
No, I meant not during deer season.
Like in June.
Right. Yeah.
No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Just kidding, honey.
I feel like we say that at least once per episode.
We do actually.
Just kidding, honey.
I can say that because my wife doesn't actually listen to us.
You're welcome at deer camp
If she
anytime.
ever does,
Just drop the beer and run.
I'm going to have to move in with somebody.
My wife brought us food to the youth deer camp. Well, both our wives showed up.
They did.
Yep.
They did.
So
Our wives
nice.
did come to youth deer camp, and brought us food.
And they kind of, in a lot of ways, they do are participants in this whole tradition too. Because
Well, of course they
I'll
are.
bet you, like you said, they cooked food.
Yep.
Yeah. Every year we have lasagna on Friday night. My wife cooks the lasagna. She doesn't come, but she's always providing
Yeah,
that.
but they understand how important it is for us and the kids, and how. So I mean,
it is. And God, when you think about it, you got to wonder what people who don't go to deer camp do.
I can't even imagine.
I mean, it's like that memory, that bond that you form with those friends.
And we've been talking so much, about the inclusion of women and, daughters, spouses and all of that. But I mean this in the general sense of the term. It is the closest I feel to like a brotherhood, and this has a lot of negative connotations too, but like a fraternity, it is, you're so closely tied together for, the week or 2 weeks or 2 days or whatever it is. And, especially when you're so disconnected, like the people at that camp, they are your world.
It is. It's a separate little world,
and like nothing outside of that matters. And there's something so beautiful about that.
Well, like we've said before, when we would go to Ripley, that was because I didn't grow up with deer camp, and when we started going to Ripley, that was our deer camp.
Right.
And we would only see those guys once a year for 3 or 4 days. But when we'd see each other,
it was like we didn't even meet each other.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And so it was so cool. And that was the greatest part about it.
Yeah. And I think it was basically because of the farting.
Yeah. The Bloody Marys kept us together. The Bloody Marys.
But that deer, I mean, I think back, my first exposure to deer camp was literally pickup trucks and pickup campers in Wisconsin public lands. And I got invited to join that crew when I was probably 17, 18 years old. My dad wasn't a deer hunter. So I went with these guys. And like you said, man, I hunted with them for at least 5 years or so until I moved to northern Minnesota. And you only see them once a year, but it was like we just saw each other last week.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
And
it's like you didn't have to like try to pick up where you left off. It just went.
And there's there's those little things that you do. I suppose some of this carries over to doing other kinds of outdoor stuff too. Like you go on a Boundary Waters trip with somebody, something like that. You know who you want to be around and hunt with,
right?
Because you could count on these guys to do stuff,
right?
I mean, it's the little things. It's who doesn't hesitate to help.
Exactly.
Out. Who puts in hard works, making sure there's firewood and the stoves are stocked and all that kind of
right. Who's going to wake you up at midnight when you're drunk? To do the right thing,
to make a Bloody Mary.
To make a Bloody Mary.
To help you with that hangover.
I think if you are at deer camp, you are the rawest, most honest, genuine version of yourself.
I have no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no showering.
Yeah, it's because I don't shower.
It's definitely raw. Have I ever once farted in the staff meeting?
No.
How many times did I have deer camp?
Constantly.
Like you just get to be yourself. You do. There are no boundaries,
and I think that's the beauty of it. I mean, technically I grew up basically in deer camp. And I just waited for everybody else to show up for deer season. That's the way I feel. It's like the rest of the year was boring as hell.
I just picture 10-year-old Jimmy just ticking off the calendar throughout the year.
Oh, the rest of my friends are coming.
Did people come to you up to where you grew up?
Oh gosh, it turned into like a city back then. It was like most of the years nobody there because I grew up kind of where Joe's camp is,
Little Ireland. Is that what you called it?
And basically, yeah. And then it would just come alive come November.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd go in October and make stands. We used to build stands. We didn't put up stands. We built stands.
That's right. Yeah.
We did that as a family of uncles, cousins, everything. And then people would show up from the cities, from Grand Rapids, wherever. And the woods would come alive. People lived in the woods then. And we could go visit all these people and sell them candy bars.
Yeah. Sell them candy for your school.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yep. It's like deer season's here. Let's send all the kids out to their dad's deer camps and send them with all
stuff. We used to visit all the deer camps. I remember visiting deer camps that were in like old train cars. And these guys would have like wood stoves in them.
I've heard
I'd go in them and it was like that song, the second week of deer camp song. It was just like that, but they always bought so many candy bars. Yeah,
that's so cool.
It was awesome.
Why don't we have a fundraiser like that?
Right? Can you imagine? That should be MDHA's next fundraiser.
Candy bars for conservation.
Candy bars for conservation.
Why not?
We're going to patent that. Nobody else can take that idea.
Everybody loves candy.
.com. Mint candy.
Oh, I used to love doing it because then you get to go to every deer camp. You'd visit all these people you haven't seen since last year and see if they had any deer hanging.
Yeah,
sure.
There's always something to talk about.
Do we have to sell candy bars? What if we did like
Coors Light for conservation?
Whiskey for whitetails.
Whiskey for whitetails? I don't know if they'd buy whiskey though.
They got their own stock.
Right. They got their own beers. Back
Plus,
then it
we
was
can't
Blatch,
technically
Schlitz.
sell that.
We can't. We don't have a liquor license.
Get a license.
We probably could, but
that's in your name.
Sure.
Yeah.
Candy bars.
Talking Joe, right?
Yeah. Candy would probably.
Okay. You're at deer camp. Somebody shows up to sell you something. What is it you desperately need or desperately want? Okay, what's the second most thing you want? Maybe let's go down the line. Let's jump down to 4.
Oh man,
this just took a turn.
Yeah, this room right now almost feels like deer camp.
It does.
Right?
It does.
Right?
And it felt that way with Wayne too. It was just that atmosphere. I think that's a cool part about hunters.
Right.
You know, we can do that.
Yeah, we can get together in June and crack a beer and start talking hunting.
Well,
and it
even
feels like deer
I
camp.
think a lot of that is. I wonder if there's other activities that are do that, but it's true. Over all the years that's go by, like high school friends or whatever college friends, the ones that you keep in touch with. For me personally, maybe that's a fault of mine. Tend to be the ones that I was hunting with.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I could call them up this time of year and say, "How's your hunting going?" And we can talk for the longest time.
Yep.
And it's fun. And then we don't get to. There's one buddy that I have that we get together not every year, but at least every so many years. And we're both getting close to retirement, so it's going to be more fun.
And these are the people that you grew up with from Chicago?
No. When I was growing up in Chicago, those that listen to that first podcast know that I was like an oddball. I was Joe Hunter was my nickname. I only had 3 friends that were hunters and fishermen. Nobody else did that kind of stuff.
Right.
No. Then I went to college and it was different because I went to college for natural resources and like everybody I knew was a hunter then. And that blew me away. I'm like, wow, everybody hunts.
Right. Well, then I think with that, even fishermen, outdoorsmen, because we have a few friends that we see every few years. We haven't gone on a fishing trip in a few years now, but we see them that time for a fishing trip, just a guy's trip. Right. Otherwise, I don't talk to him any other time of the year, and they're the kind of guy that you depend on, to do certain things at that time. It was a fish camp, so.
Right.
So like I was saying, next year will be our 10th anniversary of the deer camp.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And I'd like to do like a little book or something like that on it. I did one early on where you can do those download your books and you make a book. And that was kind of fun. So I've been saving pictures over the years and of our successes. We've never killed a lot of big bucks, but seemed like we've only had out of the 9 years, maybe one season that nobody shot a buck. Okay. So I consider it relatively successful considering where we are.
Right.
Yeah. We did make our way through some very tough winters and we've had some seasons that were tough. Like, opening weekend was really great. And then second weekend we got dumped on and you couldn't even get into camp.
Yep.
Kind of thing. And that happens. And that's all part of owning a deer camp. But you guys were wondering about other stuff though that we do. I'm like this year after hunting, I hunted 3 consecutive days last weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, sunrise to sunset on stand. And I was like, wow. Come Tuesday, I'm like, I can't do another 3. I can't do another day. So I'm like, it's time to start thinking. And it occurred to me that I'd gotten kind of lazy over the last few years. I've got all these nice stands locations, and some of them are proving to be successful, but some of them are proving to be total duds. Mm-hmm. And it's time for me to go do a serious walk around while the habitat's the hottest. Look for those fresh rubs and scrapes, etc. So I spent that whole day doing that, and by that time, everybody else had left. I was alone. I'm alone at deer camp quite a bit. People tend to hunt the weekends and maybe stay Monday, but then during the week, I'm usually there by myself and going out in the woods. And I did a lot of walking around that day, and I found a lot of sign where we don't have stands. Mm-hmm. So I was out there with my electronics, and put a stand here, stand here, kind of thing. And you got to do that. I mean, how many times do you talk to people and they say they don't see any deer? They haven't seen any deer. It's like, how often? I mean, it blows me away. Here's something that's interesting in our camp that's different. Nobody's allowed to have a stand that they call their stand.
Right.
Mm-hmm. We don't do that.
Yeah.
And I know that's tradition at most camps, but we don't do that. We all build the stands together or put up the stands together. And the night before deer hunting, we talk about who's going to use what stands. And we draw conclusions based on obviously hunting conditions. We don't just go to that stand because it's my stand, even though the wind's wrong.
Right. Yep.
I hate when people do that and then complain they don't see any deer. But we also could say, Micah hasn't killed a deer yet. What's our highest percentage stand?
Yeah.
So he's going to get a deer.
Right.
And that's where he's going. Okay. And who's next on the list? Who hasn't got a deer in the last couple of years? That's how we do it.
Yep.
So that's kind of important to us. It was important to me in particular. So,
right. As it should be.
And I get to make the rules. So.
Absolutely. Her name's on the title.
That's where you combine stand selection with your poker game. You know, like I see your swamp stand,
right? And I like that.
I raise you,
I like
the downwind stand,
right?
You know,
it's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea. That makes the poker game way more interesting.
Way better than naked poker, Heidi.
I would be stuck. I'd be stuck in the swamp stand every year,
right?
Or just naked
in the swamp stand.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't really want to hear about your.
See, that's where ours.
That was our deer camp one with Wayne.
Yeah.
Apparently, him and Heidi played naked poker.
But that's where our poker would go to.
That's what Ruby calls it.
Just the two of them would be okay because I get that. They're Heidi and Wayne. I know them, and that makes sense.
But no,
I don't want to play with the rest of the guys.
Yeah,
right. That gets a little weird, especially with the mannequin.
Yeah.
Yes. But our poker at the end of the night would be like, "Yep, you're in the swamp stand, naked with a mannequin. You lost poker. Sorry, that's where
right.
you're at.
That's right.
You have to carry the mannequin out there with you.
Do you guys play poker at deer camp and stuff? Have you?
I don't even know what we do.
What did we play?
That
was actually duck camp.
With us, we did
Indian poker.
Yes. Well, like, what about Jim? When you were growing up, was poker part of the camp down there?
No, they basically just drank.
Who can not pass out?
Poker's always been because of the Zirkle deer camp. That's what really put it into my kids. They associate deer camp not only with deer hunting, but once dinner is done, table gets cleared, it's time to play poker.
Right.
And we play poker all the time.
No, I don't remember playing poker.
It's a big deal.
We definitely play cards. Poker, not so much, but a lot of hearts.
Right.
And then once people start passing out, it turns to games of cribbage, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we have cribbage boards, but
that's a lot of math. I don't like.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I'm not a math guy.
As long as
you bring out a cribbage board, I'm leaving.
Yeah. Yep. My friend has tried to teach me how to play cribbage. I don't know how many times, and I said, "This feels like school. Screw this."
Yep, exactly. There's too many numbers. There's too many dots. I don't know.
Yeah.
I need a calculator. This is not fun.
Just tell me when to take my clothes off.
Have you ever heard of?
When do I drink?
Have you ever heard of Calcutta?
Yeah.
At our Zirkle camp, we played a version of Calcutta. And on Friday night before opener, we enter the Calcutta stage. And what happens is everybody who's at camp, one at a time, goes up on the auction bid. And everybody in camp bids. So let's say Dean's up.
$0.
And we start with 0, but
you got to pay me $5.
Somebody says, "I'll take Dean for $10." Somebody says, "I'll go 15." Somebody says 20. And then somebody says, "Where are you hunting again?" Okay, I'm in for 30. And the idea is if Dean there's 2 categories you can win in: first deer and biggest buck.
Right.
Yep.
And first deer and biggest buck, and I forgot how we split the pot up, but you get this accumulated pot because it's not just Dean's $30 that I paid for. That goes in the pot. It's also whoever bought Jared, whoever bought Jim, whoever bought Bob, whoever bought Lily, whoever bought whoever. And you got this huge pot. And it's cool.
Yeah.
And I've got to win that a couple times. It was fun. I got to win it. By the way, if you shoot the deer, you split the pot with the guy who bought you.
Yeah, okay.
That's how it works. Yeah, that's right. That's an important part of it. That's fun. We have not done that at our new deer camp.
And that's called Calcutta?
Can multiple people buy the same, put
no,
their odds?
Only one person can be bought by one person. So I know where he's going. I own Jared.
Yeah.
And he's out there in the woods for me.
All right. Well, I know who my money's on, and it's neither of those two.
Well, Sometimes it's based on the where you think they got a really good stand.
Maybe they're going to the best
which
percentage
stand during poker.
Yeah,
that's what you got to do the poker for stands,
and you also have to
then
take
Calcutta.
Keep in mind too, you got to also look at who's most likely to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, true story.
And what weapon are they using?
Right.
Well, everybody,
because I'm assuming this has to be a recovered animal.
Yeah.
Right.
We're all using
so Dean will never recover an animal.
Well, that's funny. No, actually, that's Jared. And I think I have more deer on my wall than he does.
Oh, are you ripping on his caliber?
Yeah.
No,
because it was 357 this year, so that's not bad. That's
Me?
impressive.
Yeah, I had a 357.
That's impressive.
Little lever gun.
Yep. I was impressed with your deer this year. I was excited.
It's impressive. Nice that was a very nice deer.
Right.
But I love ripping. I used to shoot a 30-30 all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a little thing between my buddy Trevor and I rip on his 30-30 all the time.
Right.
I always say that it goes and drops,
Yeah.
And it's just because the guy at my Zirkle deer camp, Dean, used to tease everybody about a 30-30 because that's how he would interpret them.
Yeah.
And this year when he shot that buck, I said, I didn't ever even heard you shoot. He said, oh, wait, now I think about it. I heard a kid shoot a cap gun. I heard that cap gun go off, and I thought, oh, maybe that was a 30-30.
Right. I had
But all to you 30-30 hunters, 30-30s.
I love 30-30.
Great.
I've killed
more
millions of deer.
More deer in North America than any other.
Yeah,
I guarantee it.
Great caliber.
But same story. We collect Henry Golden Boys, right? So we've got
meaning family?
Like my deer camp. Yeah, my dad and I.
Yep.
And so we've got them hanging on the wall. And I grabbed the 357 this year, and I shot that deer, and it sounded like a cap gun to me when I shot this deer. And so I watched how it reacted, and it ran off. And then I literally looked down to make sure I didn't grab my son's 22. even though I had loaded the thing, like I knew it was the 357, but it sounded so pathetic.
Cold, silent mornings.
Yep. It was just,
yeah. I shot a deer many years ago up on a deer drive up in the Ely area, and I shot it with a 30-30. And when the guys got done with the drive, I told them I shot a deer, and they were like, really? We never heard you shoot. And I said, I swear I did.
Yeah.
You should be right out by the blood trail right now. And I'm like, yeah, there it was. Yeah. It's just the way it is.
Yep.
It happens. So, Jared, I have to ask, you have deer camp, and I know we've talked about your deer camp before. Mm-hmm. It's you and your old man.
It's sometimes more, but yeah.
Sometimes year, other family members.
Yeah.
Where are your brothers? I ain't gonna say any but names, but
yeah, well, I will. Jake and Josh. They're probably at the Mall of America getting their nails done or something.
Definitely Jake.
No, my brothers don't hunt. And
how did that happen exactly? You hunt. Your dad hunts,
right?
I mean, your grandpa hunts.
Yeah,
hunted.
Yeah.
Jake, Josh do not hunt.
They don't, and I don't know why. None of them are against it.
Well, no, I get that,
but it was never their thing. Mm-hmm. Actually, the baby of the family, my sister, she doesn't hunt herself,
right?
But she usually comes to deer camp.
Okay,
and her now husband,
he hunts, right?
He hunts,
right?
But yeah, so it's usually like my parents, myself, my sister and her husband, and then other people mix in and out.
Right. Because I mean, me and Dean have been to your deer camp a few times now for various things. Yeah. And we've never seen your brothers there.
They go there, but in the summer to float the river or whatever.
Right.
When it's nice out.
Yeah.
Right. Because I feel like we can make fun of Jake.
But here's the thing. What? Come January, they're all gonna be asking me for venison.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, we need to get those boys hunting with us.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You can't put in none of the work, none of the effort.
Is the issue that because you grew up where you grew up, was it just access? What kept you more interested, and how did you get more attached to it and them not get interested in it?
It's such a good question,
because I can relate in a way, because I have two brothers and a sister. My sister never had any interest in that, but my younger brother, he hunted for a little bit, and he still loves to fish and do other stuff like that. But more for him, it's just like where he lives and stuff.
Yeah,
it's just not accessible.
Yep.
My oldest brother he actually started hunting after me, but he's 8 years older than me at least. But he got the hunting bug big time, and he did pretty well for himself financially, and he's hunted Africa and Alaska, and he got really into it.
Yeah.
So it is kind of just curious how a deer camp is one thing. It's just deer camp is hunting, but deer camp isn't all about hunting.
No.
So some people just go to deer camp and they even put the orange on, they even carry the gun, but they're really honestly there for all the other aspects of deer camp.
Yep.
And I think that would be perfect for Jake.
Oh, 100%. And don't get me wrong, he has come.
Okay.
Right. He doesn't consistently, but he will come and he'll hang out, and we'll get out of the stand and come back and, wake Jake up and grab the bucket or whatever we need to do. But no, he'll come for the deer camp aspect, but never had a desire to hunt. Josh,
which is fine. Not everybody has that.
Yep.
I would love for everyone to, try it out, see if it is for you.
Right.
But the deer camp experience, I guarantee you, it's for you. Go to a deer camp, whether or not you ever plan on hunting.
Yeah.
Right.
You will have
great camaraderie.
Yeah.
Everybody's there to have a good time.
Yeah.
Right. And they're going to tell great stories.
Yeah.
There is so much more to it.
Oh,
there
my
is.
gosh.
Right.
Let's face it. I used to say 500,000 deer hunters, which is kind of sad because it's not that anymore.
No.
But whatever it is, 400 some thousand. Let's face it, most deer hunters come up for Friday night. They hunt Saturday.
Maybe Sunday morning.
And maybe Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go home, and that was their deer season. But they live for that all year long.
Right. It's like when they sign up for their time off at work in the beginning of the year, they take that weekend off in November.
Make sure that they know where they're going to be. And that's what's kept deer hunting, I think, alive more than a lot of the other hunts.
Right.
Waterfall hunting has kind of gone way down.
Right.
Not just from lack of ducks and habitat, which is part of it.
Right.
It's also because over 60% of our population is metro.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's face it, if you're a dad trying to introduce your kids, I'm sorry I shouldn't say just dads. If you're a parent trying to introduce your kid, and it's like pheasant hunting, whatever. Okay, we're going to do that next Saturday, Susie. Oh, can't, Dad. I got a soccer game.
Right.
Okay, how about the following Saturday? Oh, maybe. But if we get in the playoffs, we can't go.
Right.
But deer hunting, they put on this calendar.
Yep.
But all those other hunting aspects, they're easy to just blow off.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They're easy to say, oh, well, maybe next year we'll go pheasant hunting. Maybe next year we'll go duck hunting. So that's what's helped deer hunting hang on.
Yeah.
Though we should be somewhat alarmed that it is going down. Deer license sales, even for firearms, there's a downward trend.
Yeah. And I would go way beyond somewhat. I think it's
alarming.
This is nationwide, right?
Yeah.
And it's code red,
Right.
We are seeing across the board a decrease in hunters and fishermen,
Right.
People that are actively recreating in the form of harvest in the outdoors are on a steep decline. How many kids these days don't understand where their food comes from?
Don't get me started
it comes.
on that one.
You go to the grocery store. That's where they grow the cows,
Right.
Yeah.
And that's,
right?
Yeah.
And
you can buy walleye
There's
there
just
now.
such a disconnect,
Mhm.
right? And I think if we as hunters and outdoorsmen are going to rise to the challenge of getting this next generation involved, it's got to be through the, quote unquote, sustainability and living with the land type of lens, right? Mm-hmm. Like you go to do we even have a Whole Foods in Minnesota?
Not around here. We don't.
Yeah.
Well, you mean in Grand Rapids or no?
It's just Minnesota? I don't know if I've ever.
I'm sure there must be.
Yeah. And there's a group that's working on that in Grand Rapids, but that's another story.
Okay.
But no, you're right.
Like you got across the street, they're supposed to have one.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Okay. But yeah, you've got these farm to table almost like stores where people are still just so disconnected. They're showing up, they're shopping, but they're feeling good about the product that they're spending their money on. If you want to be truly sustainable, one with the land, however you want to frame it, like there's no better way to get your source of food than getting out there
to table
and getting it yourself. Go out there and harvest mushrooms. Go out there and harvest a deer. Go out there, catch your fish.
And that does seem to be growing somewhat.
That's
the whole foraging
where
thing.
we have to be. Foraging,
But to piggyback on what you said and to elaborate on it and as well as support it, when my middle daughter, Lily, I remember her coming home in kitchen table supper time, and we were having venison steaks. And she announced to the table, "Hey, Dad, do you know that some kids said that they buy their steaks at the store?" And I was like, she was like in second grade. And I'm like, had to talk about, yeah, that happened. But even further back with her my oldest daughter, I came home and I think my wife was working late or something like that. And I'd made supper for my daughter. At this time, she was like 4, right about when kids start questioning things and asking. And I put her food on her little plate there and she says, "So what are we eating?" And I said, "It's chicken." And she says, "Oh, did you shoot it?" And I said, "No." She was used to me going out and shooting a grouse.
Right.
And we lived up in the woods and cook at that time. And it was nothing for me to go out. I'm home early from work. I'm going to go out and see if I can't kill a grouse. So I said, "No." And she said, her response was, "Well, then who shot it?"
And that's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. And I said, then I had this conversation about farming and grocery stores and blah, blah, blah. But your point is correct. And how many people are afraid to even tell their kids what they're eating?
Right.
They
don't know.
Well, no, not just that. I'm saying they think that it'll scare their child if they told them that McDonald's hamburger came from a cow.
Yeah, that it wasn't a cow.
Mom and dad, so here's this little kid eating their little cheeseburger Happy Meal. What is this? They will never they think it would warp the child's mind to tell them it was a cow.
Right.
And where my kids were growing up with butter knives, scraping meat off of the rib cage of a deer, because I gave them butter knives while I was processing the deer so they could help, so to speak. We just need people to be more connected. Mm-hmm. And I see it sometimes. I see the fascination that some part of society has with certain shows like on YouTube or on even TV when they do like The Last Alaskans and there's people that follow that and go, "Wow, look at those wild people living off the land." Yep. And it's like, dude, you are too.
You can still do that.
Do you know how many millions of acres of land you own in this state where you can go do that?
Right.
Like you don't have to move to Alaska and become a bush person.
No.
Right.
Do it here.
You can.
Yeah. Move to Togo, become a bush person.
True story, honestly.
You could be living in the Twin Cities and there's close by you.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And there's even nuisance deer hunts.
Right.
Yes.
And Canada goose deer hunts. And there's wild turkeys everywhere now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there is.
We had a guy who started coming to our Zirkle deer camp who was college buddies with one of the guys at deer camp. Never hunted, but he got in contact with Eric over the years and said he became a big fitness dude. He made his money on opening fitness facilities in California. He was big into health. and he wanted to hunt wild game.
Mm-hmm.
He decided if I'm going to eat meat, I'm only eating meat that I go out and kill myself. So he was getting wild pigs in California. So he became a member of that deer camp to come back, and that was how he got his venison every year. He'd go to Minnesota and Indiana to collect his venison for the year.
Yeah.
Nice.
There are some segments of the population that we can work with.
Oh, 100%.
Health conscious people who believe in that, getting back to the land and that kind of stuff. They're there. I don't know how much more we can do within the hunting community we're doing our best with our own kids.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. We've got to, change the messaging. We got to target that audience. Like my wife is a prime example. We dissected fetal pigs in 8th, 9th grade or something like that,
right?
And she swore off meat from that day on, became a diehard vegetarian. To this day, she will not eat meat unless it's something that I have harvested. And then she'll eat it all day long. So that's why we live off of fish and venison.
She drew that line.
One fish and one deer.
And like that's the I think that's the path moving forward. I
agree.
This is how you be a sustainable, conscious citizen.
Right.
Like nothing against the beef industry.
Well, no.
I love the ranch down in Kansas.
Right.
And all of that.
It's the greatest place in the world.
But like, what's more sustainable? That deer that I'm going to go out and harvest that has had the happiest, most natural life ever, or
on your property,
on my property, or the public land that is also my property and everyone's property, or the chicken that was raised in a 3x3 little box with 10 other chickens.
Injected with steroids.
Exactly. And again, nothing against the poultry industry. Like it's an essential source of food for the citizenry of the world.
Right.
But like, what better way to get your meat than to go out and get your meat?
If you're conscious about where your food comes from, there is no better way than to start hunting.
Certainly hunters should not be the ones targeted as being having a negative effect.
Exactly.
I mean, if anything, we're certainly nowhere near negative.
No.
I mean, we're doing our thing.
I guarantee we are closer to those animals than anybody else will ever be.
Well, getting back to my deer camp, how much time and effort and even money and sweat I spend outside of deer hunting season taking care of my land.
Right.
Yep.
And it's not just for game animals. I mean, I do everything from putting out birdhouses to making wildlife openings to timber stand improvement projects. And hey, it's just the love of the land.
Right.
And it benefits the wildlife, all species of wildlife. But I want to try this off of you guys, because I was toying with, you're never going to convince the true antis, but at least I have something that I think they had a hard time arguing against. Step one, we all need to agree that all wildlife die, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Everything dies.
It's natural.
Humans, everything dies.
Not me. I'm invincible.
Oh, yeah, vampire Jared.
Except for Jared. Okay. We agree. Except for Jared.
But how in nature does anything die? Is it possible that anything dies without any form of discomfort?
No.
I mean, starvation, predation, hit by a car,
illness,
disease, illness, accidents. There's no sitting down and having hospice come and give you morphine and put you to sleep. All wildlife dies, and it's not pleasant.
Right.
Getting shot by a bullet or an arrow or caught in a trap is just par for the course.
Right. And sometimes it's honestly that much
It might
quicker.
even be easier.
Right. Yep.
Good chance it's easy.
Right.
I mean, dying of starvation?
That sounds horrible.
That's days.
Yeah.
Miserable death.
Right.
So I'm just trying to say that for them to just, I mean, I see it. Anybody who's on Facebook and you know, it's weird. Like I'm a trapper.
Right.
And just because you chap on trapping threads, all of a sudden you also get the anti-trapping threats.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yep.
And holy smokes, their logic of those people, it's like, how do you? I don't know how to talk to them, but the bottom line is, with reasonable people, they have to realize that when you say that fur is terrible, or it's a natural resource,
Right.
And from an environmental standpoint, you can't tell me that coyote pelt that I'm pointing at right now in this room, turned into a pair of gloves, is not more environmentally sound than a pair of plastic polypropylene gloves.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Right.
That are made from a petroleum product.
Exactly. And I think
that are also single use and then end up in a landfill.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think what a lot of people forget is us as people, humans, we're part of this natural world too. And whatever we do is a part of this natural world.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what it is, it may seem foreign to the, nature, but it is part of nature still.
Yeah. And it goes beyond just we're tuned into wildlife.
Right.
But it's trees. It's mining.
Right.
It's people forget that there is no way they could live without taking natural resources.
Right. Not the way we live right now.
Nothing.
Ever. Right. I mean, it's true.
I've seen a bumper sticker that said, if we can't grow it, we got to mine it. And it's like, oh, that's true.
Right.
I don't care if it's your toothpaste or your toothbrush. It came from something.
Right. Right. Other than those polypropylene gloves.
Yeah. Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. My venison has a lot less of an environmental impact than your tofu.
Right.
Yeah.
And it tastes a hell of a lot better.
So much better.
That's for sure.
And I got it in my backyard.
Right.
Your tofu came from fucking Mars or something.
Yeah, I don't even know where that comes from. Some factory in China, I think, where they
Soybeans.
process bats.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's from soybeans.
Yeah.
My wife actually
Soybeans on
makes a
Mars.
really good tofu enchilada recipe that I put a plug in for.
Boy,
but
Joe is taking a hard left here.
Right? And on that
On that note, we're never talking to Joe again. And his nickname is now Tofu Joe.
I'm not ashamed to say it. I have had some palatable tofu.
I have never even tried it, and I don't know if I would.
I would never choose it, but
Well, I have always seen those memes like, how do you improve tofu?
make it venison.
No, you throw it in the garbage.
The fact of the matter is, tofu is nothing but a survival food.
Right. Well,
It's really a way of people to consume protein, and it has no flavor. It only takes on the flavor of whatever you cook it with.
Yep.
Right.
It serves its only purpose is in countries like that
Well, they need
to
to
provide protein.
Right. Kind of like
really
rice.
what it is.
Kind of like rice, white rice.
Yeah, it's nothing like, nobody could tell me that they take out a thing of tofu and slice it and go, oh, this is really good.
Man, we're going to have tofu tonight. I'm so
I
so
can't wait. I
excited.
cannot wait for tofu season. Are you guys doing archery or muzzle loader for your tofu this year?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't decide.
Right.
Depends how much money I have in my bank account.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow I'm going to go get some of that wild tofu that runs through the woods.
Yeah.
That's nice and red and juicy.
Well, is
With the big
anybody,
antlers.
are you sticking it out? Is anybody, I mean, we still got
Oh, yeah.
a good chunk of the state's done, but we're not.
I'm hunting through the weekend, and then I'm switching to archery, and then I'm switching to muzzleloader.
I got a muzzle.
I'm not giving up. And although my son got one, so I'm not desperate, but
Oh, I'm desperate.
I have this plan. I want to make some tomahawk chops,
Backstrap.
steaks.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to learn how to do that. So that's if I get another deer, that's what I'm going to do.
Just get creative with the cuts.
I'm
And that's
gonna
my
get
plan.
I'm going to get so creative, and these guys are going to eat them. Jared's cooking them.
Yep.
And they're eating them.
And I need a couple more tongues.
Dude, I cut one out the other day, but it's like a few.
Yeah, you forgot to give it to me, and
I
it's been
did.
sitting in a trash can.
And
I don't want that.
And I totally forgot
Actually,
to
I
grab
think
the
they
one
took
out
it
of.
today.
out
Is
of
this
Aiden's
something
deer.
you've done in the past, or is this
never
something-
with venison, but I do. No, but like a tongue is a tongue,
Oh yeah, right.
A tongue is a tongue.
right?
There's put that on a t-shirt.
What? You have to try it first before you try feed it to us.
Sure,
Okay.
but I need more tongue.
Don't you have a tongue?
I have a tongue.
That's enough for you.
That's enough for me, but I need another tongue
Right. Okay.
or four.
You could get tongue tacos over at that La Tequila restaurant
That's
in
right.
town.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. What kind of tongue we talking here?
They're probably cow beef.
Probably cow tongue. Yeah.
Beef. Okay.
More likely.
No thanks.
Jeez,
I like fish tacos.
So good. It's just a muscle, and it's the most tender muscle.
Oh, it
Well,
felt
think about
weird.
the people that are hesitant to even try heart.
So it's a muscle.
I got my heart in the freezer right now.
A heart is not even like people go, oh, I don't need organ meats. Well, technically,
Well, that's pure muscle there.
Our heart is just a muscle.
Yeah, I would totally eat heart.
Yeah, it's good. Actually.
I usually blow them to pieces, though.
I used to love. I used to love eating liver.
Oh yeah, I like liver, beef liver.
We used to eat venison liver. That was Friday.
But there was a time where they stopped that, right?
Huh?
Venison liver, right? Wasn't it because of the flukes or something?
Well,
because I grew up.
There's always been flukes in some.
I thought there was some point in time where it was like, because I remember as a kid, like we used to eat pretty much everything off the deer, and then there was some point where it's like, oh, we can't eat the liver.
Well, I think if you cut into a liver and found liver flukes, you're going to freak out.
Right.
They look gross. They're like white leeches.
Right. They're just little squiggly things.
Kind of like Dean.
They are.
Just a white leech.
Mm-hmm.
But that was our deer camp thing. That Wisconsin deer camp that I first started. I mean, there were so many deer down there. We always had lots of deer hanging opening day. And we had a huge liver and onions was always on the menu for Saturday night.
I don't like the texture
of liver.
Yeah.
Yep,
it's so
the flavor's
so
not bad.
Though.
Once you get past it, I mean, I've had it. It is.
You've had to have beef flavor.
Oh yeah, I don't eat a lot because I don't like that texture. It does have flavor. I don't mind the flavor,
especially
but it's the texture. Yeah,
the texture. It's the only way you can eat them with onions.
My uncle gave me a case of beef livers when I was in college and couldn't afford to eat anything else. So I lived off liver and onions for like probably 6 months.
Yeah, ramen noodles are really expensive, Jared.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, ramen noodles is starvation food.
Right? Well, yeah.
When I was in college, I went to the doctor for the university doctor there at the college.
Yeah.
For something. It wasn't an STD or anything like that.
Sure.
I remember him saying to me, because he tested my blood, and he said, "Hey, are you a hunter?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" He said, "All the kids that come in here that aren't hunters have a low protein count." He says, "Your protein count's way high."
Nice.
You like to eat those aminals.
Yeah, people living on back then. It was like ramen noodles, 10 for $1.
Yep.
I think it still is, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah, they're still pretty cheap.
You know, every now and then I like to crack an egg in a ramen noodle package. And
Yeah, my son loves. My son loves
did that
ramen.
like 2 days ago.
No,
that's what happens when you get home at like midnight.
Right.
You know, trying to make no noise, put the kids to bed, and just get something in your stomach.
You got to swing through the Taco Bell.
Boom. Joe knows.
That's not on the way.
Joe knows. That's where you get a chalupa, man.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Okay, so Joe's camp is awesome. He has a mannequin. We're going to go check it out.
Right.
We're going to share a picture. Otherwise, I'm just going to make a picture with AI, and it's going to be creepy. But
Exactly. No, we appreciate you coming on again, Joe, for the 4th time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, you're the #1 guest with Down the Barrel.
That's right.
And it's
Tony's
always
got nothing on you.
Right. Tony's up to 3.
And
You're
it's
at
always
4.
and it's always a good conversation, and it always extends, and
yeah,
it's fun.
We could always keep going and keep going, but
we can keep going for another hour.
For sure.
That.
But I'm going to be sweating.
It's
even
so hot.
more.
It's
so hot in this room, dude.
Right.
Yeah, one day we'll do like an all-nighter.
Right.
That would be awesome.
Probably could.
The DTB all-nighter.
First ever.
Can you only
live
imagine
stream.
how much smartness would come out of there?
Yeah,
all of the smart.
All the
smartness
would come out of there.
Yeah.
Just like this one.
Yeah.
You know how that works, you know?
So what we're trying to say here is if you are not part of a deer camp, you need to start a deer camp.
Find one to be a part of.
And I just want to let people know, up here in northern Minnesota, you can come up here and just basically just select a section of woods,
right,
and set up a camp.
There's so many deer camps on public land.
Right.
They bring their fish house. They bring
you can do that up here.
Yeah.
It's
great.
And you can say it's deer camp, and you just go out in the woods behind your little tent or camper or whatever it may be and hunt.
Yeah.
And if you want to buy private land, there's no time like the present.
Well, it's a good time.
$1 for 160 acres.
Yeah, Joe is selling his for $1. But I'm going to buy it as soon as this is done.
If you don't just do it, it's never going to get cheaper.
Right.
Oh gosh, no.
They're not making any more.
No, and so if you start with what you can afford, and you can always add on to it, and once you get that initial first capital, you can keep on growing. But for me personally, to end this kind of thing, that deer camp is my legacy.
Right.
I mean, if my kids don't want it, quite frankly, it's probably going to go back to the state or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my goal in life was to own land, make that land amazing, and pass it on to my kids.
Right.
And I want to be that guy that somewhere down the road they're doing a show on that says that Camp 5-0 is celebrating their 100th anniversary.
Right, exactly.
And Joe and Trevor started that camp in 2016.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I don't know who Trevor is, but
and that's why organizations like MDHA, Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, National Wild Turkey Federation, Pheasants. I mean, I could go on and on. Right. We work so hard to create that land for you to have your deer camp on, your hunting experiences on. You know, like you own that land as much as anyone else.
Exactly.
Go use it.
Mm-hmm.
Get that sustainable source of food.
Yes.
Have fun.
Have so much fun.
Build memories.
Make great friends. I mean,
great friends. Also, you know, acquaintances that you sometimes have to record podcasts with.
Right. People that you kind of sort of know.
Right.
And put up with, but don't like.
Or people you see once a year because you can only stand them at deer camp. We may start doing that for the studio.
Jared. You guys feel free to continue. I have to run. But Joe, it's always a pleasure.
We're good
Thanks,
to go.
Jared. All right, everybody. Have a happy rest of your deer season.
Right. And Joe, if you're hunting this weekend at your deer camp, I hope you do well.
I'm going back to Chicago for my mother's 90th.
So me and Dean are heading up to your deer camp this weekend, probably Friday.
Right.
We're going to get that mannequin.
You leave my mannequin alone. I have neighbors watching that.
It might have a 6.5 Creedmoor bullet in the forehead, but you wouldn't even notice.
Yeah,
you wouldn't.
It won't even hurt it.
Yeah. All right. On that note.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah. Thanks, Joe.
Number 4 with Joe. All right. Thanks.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association has been building our hunting and conservation legacy over the past 40 plus years through habitat, education, advocacy, and legislation in Minnesota for Minnesota.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association and Wolf Dot Report proudly sponsor this podcast. However, please note that the opinions, topics, and guests featured may not necessarily align with the views, beliefs, goals, or mission of our sponsors.
Dead Nuts Outdoors, creators of the most realistic 2D archery targets on the market. Practice how you hunt. Hit it dead nuts. Visit deadnutsoutdoors.com to gear up. Minbow, member-driven, bow hunter focused. Join today at mnbowhunters.com.